All right, we are live. I think everyone was waiting for us. Hey, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, PhotoDay Rookie All-Stars. So thanks for hanging out with us today. We got a couple PhotoDay users here in the room. We got Hope Cripps from Cripps Photography, Chris Garcia, and GSP Inc. I don't know what the name of your studio is. You changed it. You have two different ones, Chris. What is it? GSP? Okay.
GSP Story.
Okay, got it. We got Justin here, Justin Grafton with us. And then we got Rashad Griffin. And you guys are all basically almost all of you are on the West Coast for the most part. Rashad might be a little bit further. You're in Mountain Time. So, and I am in Florida. So I'm Lisa with PhotoDay for anyone new that's joining us today. So, and we thought, the team at PhotoDay, we have a community in our Facebook users group that you may or may not already know about. And PhotoDay, is, yes, we're a software platform, we're a product, but we really are also a community for volume photographers. And we wanted to, welcome you guys that are here with us today. So thanks for coming on and sharing with everyone else. And welcome to the community. And we're just going to go through and do a couple questions. So we can all get to know each other. And I guess I'll start with you, Chris. You're in order on my screen. So I'm going to go in order on my screen. I don't know what it looks like on your screen. So Chris, we'll start with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your studio, and what type of photography you guys do?
So Chris Garcia from GSP Studio. Essentially, we started in the industry. I'm a second-generation photographer. So I grew up in the portrait world. Parents were seniors, families. We still do a lot of the stuff as well. My dad does a lot of the military work. We got a lot of commercial stuff for there. But I specialize in all our high volumes. So schools and sports, anything with volume, I love it. So I've been doing this I just bought the business from Dad actually in July of last year. Terrible timing with everything. But it's been an amazing ride since. I've learned that I hate taxes and workers' comp sucks. But it's been great. It's been learning how have we been doing things for the past 20 years and evolved, obviously, to change with the times, try to adapt and overcome. So this year was our first year, and we were extremely successful with the way the system worked. Some changes that we made that really keep us kind of locked in there for the future. So we're excited with the new changes coming as well, how we're able to implement more of what we do into PhotoDay.
Awesome. Thank you. Justin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your studio and what you do? Oh, I can't hear you.
Well, I turned it off. I had to cough. I didn't want to freak everyone out.
There you go.
So I am a volume sports and school photography studio, but I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I kind of do a lot of different things. I shoot real estate too, and I do some commercial work as well. So, but my mainstay is volume work. And so we used to do a lot with forms, and I couldn't keep up with all the stuff because our studio was growing so fast in about a 5-year period. And we kind of learned on the fly, probably like a lot of you. And there's nobody out there really teaching people how to set up your business on that back end with forms to where it's super consistent and you do everything the same, because as you're growing, you're changing constantly. And so that became a really big headache for us. We started getting bigger and we weren't very good customer service wise. And so PhotoDay kind of saved our lives in that aspect and helped us grow because we'd hit a ceiling. We were a family operated business completely. My parents helped and my brother and stuff. And we were all really busy. We're working 12, 14 hours a day. And then PhotoDay came along and they didn't have to help me as much. So they were very happy. And our days of paperwork got a lot shorter. So I was able to concentrate more on shooting sports pictures and really starting to get in a groove. And then this whole COVID thing kind of hit. So we're excited to push through this and get going again. So, and really use PhotoDay for what it was made for.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing. And Rashad, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your studio and what you got going on?
All right, I'm Rashad Griffin, fireworks photography here in Phoenix, Arizona. Specialize in volume sports. Was a former athlete back in high school. Always been creative. So about 8 years ago, I don't know what it was. Something just clicked in my head. Like, I think I can do picture day like the guys that used to do our pictures, and kind of just jumped out there and learned how to use the camera at the same time that I started the business. And every year since, business has been growing. I've been learning more and more. And 8 years later, I'm an all-star now. So
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. And Hope, what about you? What are you doing out there? And where are you at in the desert right now?
Well, I'm in Twin Falls now, but I'm actually from northeastern Nevada. So, sandwiched between Reno and Salt Lake City, more of a rural environment. I actually bought the business from my mentor about 6 years ago. And he was heavy in portrait work, and then kind of had a touch of volume. And I have slowly been switching over to have more of a volume focus because that's what I really love. Do a lot of portrait work in the studio too, but I've been in the studio for about 20 years now. I know I look so young for that, but yes, 20 years. And we really love growing in our volume environment. And so we really were looking for a better solution. And unlike Rashad, we did have the forms figured out, but I was tired of spending 12 plus hours a day figuring out those order forms for all of our sports leagues. So, yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone here like order forms? Do you guys miss them at all?
No.
Nope.
So we'll go to the next question. So, Chris, so tell us, the real reasons why you decided to try PhotoDay.
Well,
The real reason, Chris, the real reason.
So the biggest reason was for when it came to our graduations for events and the face find. When we do our graduations every year, we load the galleries up onto our online site, and we'll have 300, 500 photos to go through, and parents got to search one by one by one. So we were noticing that a lot of sales we were missing out on. And then that face find came in this year, and boy, howdy, man, our literally transition rate from views to purchase skyrocketed. Not only that, but our marketing also. One of the biggest things was for me was I hate doing mailers. I still have to do them for my high school stuff, for like our seniors. But for graduations, I was tired of printing 5,000, cards or whatever, having to send some out to schools, keep some for ourselves in the office because people lose them. They got to come back in, and we got to send another one. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I was able to just print banners this year, and we made multiple banners throughout the school. We posted, hey, for today's photos, make sure to text and I'll admit, Lisa, I admit I had one hiccup this year. So again, sorry to whoever has SPHS, for Spanish Plains High School, I think that was. My bad. I owe you a beer. But,
yeah, one of the first rules of PhotoDay in a group or public gallery is to claim your access code and make sure you know exactly what that is before you tell people to text it to 90738. So they actually go to your gallery and not somebody else's. And I think we should have had a bidding war this past holiday season because everybody wanted Santa. Everybody wanted Santa. So,
I'm pretty sure I used it. Sorry.
Justin claimed Santa first. So, yeah.
I'm summertime Santa. I had to.
That's awesome. So, Justin, why don't you tell us your next? So, why did you decide to try out PhotoDay for the first time?
Well, I think I got ahead of everything, and I started talking about it earlier. But it was just strictly customer service based, and being able to grow the business easier. We were at a ceiling. We couldn't physically do any more with forms with the group I had, and I didn't want more employees. That wasn't why I started doing what I do. So PhotoDay allowed us to grow exponentially easier, and have better customer service and better, just better things all the way around. It's so hard to explain until you actually do it. I was really nervous at first. We didn't want to sell anything online because I'd tried it. Literally 9 years ago, I was using Smug Mug and trying sales online and going that route. And that just never worked out. It just wasn't a good system for us. So we had to get away from online sales. They didn't work, not for our studio at the time. So I was really against it. And then once we dove into PhotoDay, our lives, because I'm on a face on here, it really was a big deal for us, and it changed our business big time. It made life a lot easier, less stress, unless you put out a code that people don't can't use. That's crazy. Sorry. That would have been. I mean, we've all made mistakes. I mean, I had a school with Capture app, when we were using it, and it's supposed to automatically take the best portrait. Well, it took a lot longer to figure that out because I had all the kids make a funny face for that particular portrait, so that didn't work out. There's little things that happen, that we're still all learning because it's pretty new, but it's great because you guys are such a great team that, any problems we've had, they have jumped right in and helped us through it along the way. And so, I just want to give a big shout out to the back end and the team that does that because it's pretty amazing.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah. What about you, Rashad? What made you decide to try PhotoDay?
Well, for the past couple years, a couple of my biggest mentors, one of them is right here in the panel, Chris and Jay Boatwright. They both told me I should really be using PhotoDay. So a couple years ago, I was introduced to it, but I was kind of hesitant. I was kind of scared to go away from the paper order forms because that's what I've been used to. And this pandemic hit, and about 4 schools contacted me to do their graduations, and I had already been shopping around for a new platform to use, and PhotoDay was like in my final 2. And the fact that I was able to just hop in there without having to pay a fee and just hop on and do it, and the whole face find feature, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try with these graduations. And yeah, I'm gonna say I'm definitely gonna keep moving forward with PhotoDay. One week of work has generated about over 10,000 in sales. So never did anything like that before. So I'm sold. So can't wait to use it moving forward with my actual sports photos. So far I've only used it with the graduations. So with sports, I can do my multiple poses and hopefully can have more success with that. So you guys are the best.
Thank you. Hope, you are multitasking like a mad woman right now.
Yeah, this is what I do. I was in the driver's seat, now I'm in the passenger seat. Like, this is what I do.
Okay, so you're not really driving. Okay, we're good.
No, I'm in the passenger seat. It's all good. It's all safe.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us, why did you decide to try PhotoDay?
Mine is kind of a combination of all of the previously stated. I remember when I first saw you guys at SPAC in, I think it was like 2017, and I was really intrigued, but I was afraid. I'm like, this is a new software. I don't know if all the bugs are worked out, and I really love my order forms, and we're on lock. And so I just kind of agreed with myself to kind of keep an eye on you guys and just kind of see what happened. And then this year, I saw you guys at SPAC again, and I had been to Jay's boot camp in December. And so I really had some more time to think about things. And much like I think it was Chris did for graduations, we would take our graduations, throw them into an online gallery. We happened to use Zenfolio. We could have 800 images in a gallery, and parents have to search through one by one. And real numbers, I sold about $4,000 in those 3 galleries last year. And this year I was like, I don't want to do that. I got to make this better and easier. And, COVID happened and kind of added to that whole perfect storm. And so it kind of forced my hand, because I was just going to kind of dip my toe in the water with grad galleries to see how it went, and then decide from there if I was going to adopt it. And after seeing the grad gallery performance, I mean, last year was $4,000. I sold almost $13,000 this year in grad galleries alone. So wow. It was a tremendous increase and just so much easier, whereas before I would take 2 or 3 days to process those images and get them ready to load, and I'm only providing 1 image. I was able to do that in like 48 hours. I had all of my galleries posted by the Sunday afternoon after graduation events. Like, it was crazy. And it awesome.
Awesome. So, that's great. I love it. I love you guys are able to, given the times that we're in right now, and then just having to find whatever way possible, whatever events there are to possibly photograph and sell. I think all of you recently are doing graduations, and that's where the sales came in, and there's some that are delayed. I mean, I know down here in Florida, there's still graduations happening that were pushed out. So hopefully continue to find those little nuggets when you can and ride out the storm. So Chris, after your first few jobs with PhotoDay, have you seen additional opportunities, additional use cases that you can use PhotoDay for after these graduations. You know, have you thought about that? What do you think you'll use it for next?
Yeah, so the next one actually right now is, so it's interesting. I'm in Central California. I'm actually in a hot spot right now with COVID. You know, we're looking at all of the high school sports markets to switch into our, you know, essentially switch us over into. I guess all my plans I have right now kind of relate to where we're going with COVID regulations. So a lot of it though is really awesome because this system is allowing me to say, guys, I can be contactless, paperless. You know, you don't have to give me, you know, someone's not going to on the order form, hand it to me, or, you know, Tommy's going to go, here's, you know, here, Chris, hold my order form, and then he gives it to the photographer. So now we got multiple people infected. Now it's just, guys, we're not doing that way. We're able to allow you to do completely, you know, completely contactless, and even I know, you know, granted, wrong forum here, but we're also working with Wes Kronergrover at Next Gen Solutions, and so Wes is actually our new workflow that I'm working on is designing, you know, essentially having Wes design everything. We're going to import that into PhotoDay, multiple designs, team photo in there. Everything's online. I don't have to touch it. As soon as it goes to Wes, we'll get it back from Wes, upload it, I'm done. So that way parents now have the time, you know, especially with the designs with Wes, it's multiple times, really high quality. We're actually working to hopefully he can do my banners as well for the fall if we have sports. So you know, so right now it's opening up a whole new door, like a whole new world with multiple doors and avenues for all of my sports. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. And I know a lot of people here, a lot of users, especially in our users group, they use Pixnub to do it themselves and build their own teams and stuff. But when, you know, you want to work like less and not have to put all that responsibility on you, Wes's service is pretty awesome at NextGen to help unload that. And we have a lot of users that are using NextGen right now, and they're using our PhotoDay Capture app for both Pixnub and for NextGen. If you want to do it yourself, DIY it, or if you want to pay for the service, but you know, you could use some of those data that comes out of the private galleries to help you composite all that stuff, which I think is super powerful.
No, and I completely agree with that, because the biggest thing is, you know, moving forward, I think the way, at least for me, like I said, I grew up in the portrait world. I'm not sure if Justin's the same way you grew up, you know, in the portrait world, if they, you know, if you did it all. But I've seen, you know, how we've gone from the past, you know, 20 years ago to giving proofs in a folio and in a $150 deposit to now we have to, how do you keep adapting with that and overcoming that change? So I think honestly, the big thing is how do I minimize, you know, Rashad just tells the great news. He just moved to his first, you know, workplace facility right there, his first studio. You know, yes, I need to grow, but I don't want a studio that I have to have a lot of, like, I don't want a computer lab in my business. You know, how do we minimize employees that we have in order to maximize the work? So no order forms. I eliminated one person already from my data entry. You know, so now it's how do I hate to say it, but how can I minimize my lab department as well by saying more stuff to go online or outsourcing more jobs? You know, I can outsource something and not have to pay taxes, which is really big for, you know, compared to employees in the state of California. We love, you know, taxes and everything else out there. So how do I eliminate that portion of it to save the money to be able to invest back to the business and grow essentially? So, you know, this is becoming a very big staple in that idea moving forward for me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Justin, what about you? I mean, after your first job, I know you did that first. You were one of the first people, first users in the PhotoDay world to access schools and PhotoDay Capture and use that in a live environment and not write down image numbers and not use barcodes and not QR codes. And I know that you went through all of that when it other opportunities do you see and how it's changing your business?
Well, you know, I haven't got to stretch my legs and run with it yet. You know, I just started last August with it, and we went through that first winter season, and obviously then all this kind of got weird. So we even shot half of spring sports and then didn't get the other half shot. So we didn't even get to shoot baseball this year. I haven't shot one baseball team, and that's usually one of our bigger draws for our company. So we're a little bit upset we haven't used PhotoDay for that. So I'm excited to use it more because I know what it's capable of. We used it for fall sports last year, and it was great. The biggest thing is trying to communicate to your parents how that works in an online world. I think that's going to be so much easier to do after this pandemic compared to what it was like before. When you start telling people, you know, it's only online or it's through an app, you get a lot of pushback. I did anyway last summer. I don't think that will ever happen again. I think I don't think anyone will have to deal with that. And so lucky for everyone now that it will be a lot easier to jump in and communicate that with your clients on how easy it is and how safe it is. You know, we actually didn't get sick from schools last year. I think that's the first year none of us got sniffles, and we only used the cap trap for half the schools. So, I mean, let that sink in. There's an aha moment for you, you know.
There you go.
So, I mean, that's truth. I didn't get sick till we came home from SPAC in February. But that's different.
I think everyone got sick after we left Vegas.
I know. Well, they were celebrating the new year down there, and we brought it all home, I think. So
yeah, for
anyway,
sure.
So I'm really excited about that. But you know, it's my sales were higher. It took longer to get there. That's the difference. You know, you get used to that cash business type thing and the money coming in up front. That's the biggest thing that you have to be honest with yourself, I think, about is how to manage your finances after. That was a big tweak for us, you know, but I think it's better now. I like it the smaller chunks through longer time than all at once, me personally.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. What about you, Rashad? Have you, since you just kind of stuck your toe in the water with these grads that you got going on, do you see any other use cases for it in your studio, different as an opening or creating more opportunities in other areas you might want to get into?
Oh yeah, I plan on using it for everything moving forward. These graduations, they were kind of thrown on me like a couple of weeks before the graduation. So I had my eye on PhotoDay, so I said, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. And honestly, with these graduations, the photos, I couldn't really get creative. I was just kind of snap, next, snap, you know, and the sales are still good. So I can already imagine when I can really implement this with my volume sports and get multiple poses and kind of do my thing with my style of pictures, it's going to do real well. I can already tell. And I was already selling online as well as doing the order forms. So I'm not new to selling online, but like Justin just said, I kind of like the steady money over time.
Oh boy.
And on top of that, okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
No, you keep going. It just cut out for a second for me.
Okay.
I didn't know if it's for everybody. Good.
And one of my biggest problems were a lot of my coaches weren't passing out my order forms. I was happening way too much. And with this way here, I can kind of control the narrative. I can get the marketing out to the parents. And I think that problem should be solved. So yeah, I'm using this all the way moving forward. 100%.
Well, you know, on top of that too, you know, it's a big deal sending packages straight to the house now instead of having somebody else manage that part of your business for you. I mean, how many times were you rebuying packages when you know you already bought it once? I mean, it cuts all that out. Like you're just done.
True story.
Yeah.
Legit, I just had a parent contact me that just got her photos in from October.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. October.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
What about
we
you?
delivered in October, and she's like, "We just got these."
Yep.
Yeah, I worked for a volume studio for a while, and we had actually coaches that went completely rogue with the complete teams, and parents were angry with us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where are the photos? We know we delivered them. So that's a good pain point that it does solve, is that direct delivery. Hope, what about you? You used it for grads too so far, right? You got any other ideas on what you can use this for going forward? Any more opportunities that you might not do now that you'd want to explore with PhotoDay?
So I'm in kind of a flux right now. So my office manager just quit. She's moving on to a different company, just, you know, bettering her life, and I wish her well and I love her. But I'm now going, shit. It's school season. Shit. So I used it for dance studios right after, and I'm actually deployed it for senior tux and drapes that we start in 2 weeks. So that's happening. And I'm probably going to deploy it for high school sports and my youth sports leagues. And I got to connect with Justin actually, because I'm trying to figure out how I can deploy it for schools, because I'm pretty sure that that's going to happen. So
it's so simple.
I'm about 90% sure that I'm all in at this point with PhotoDay. So
It's so simple. You have no
everything.
idea. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
well, we got to connect. I got to figure out your flow. So
see, I told you get to get them ready right here today. Just put them on the spot, Hope.
Yeah. I'm all about it. I'm calling you out. We're getting together and we're gonna have a conversation about your flow, so I can figure that out.
It's all good. It's all good. I got no secrets. You know what PhotoDay does is helps us stay competitive with the bigger companies too, like LifeTouch and that kind of thing. That's what PixNub and PhotoDay and those types of companies were built for, to help us smaller guys stay consistent enough to where we can keep up with the bigger brands, right? Really, and this makes it so easy to do. So great.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that, two really in-depth features that set PhotoDay apart, that you guys, I think all of you had mentioned at some point during this, is Face Find, and the use of Face Find, which is our face recognition, and we have it on the front end in the group and public galleries, and on the back end for you to manage photos in the private galleries. I think all of you guys have played around with that, but I'll just gonna jump on the Face Find topic for a second. Chris, what did you think about Face Find and how it works and the results you're getting now? And I know you tried it in the very beginning, and it's gotten a lot better in the last couple of years. So what do you think about it now?
So I remember was it 2018? I think we had the first test of it, and the funny story I'll tell about the restaurant in San Diego. So we were testing it, okay? And this is like right when it first came out. And this is okay, everyone want to talk about sketchy? Okay, this is where I had the most like sketch moment, okay, when it came to it. We were sitting at a restaurant in San Diego. It was me, Papa Don, and Lisa. And John was like, hey, bro, like use this facial recognition. Try it out from the picture we just did at imaging that year, I think it was. So he said, all right, cool. I did my face, and I'm like, John, it's not working, bro. And I remember John getting on a call, and literally within like 2 minutes, he's like on the phone, and he looks at me, okay, not a problem. We'll work on it. Pop, hangs up the phone. I think we're eating like udon noodles or something like that, right? Like spicy chicken wings too. And he looks at me and he goes, so I was like, what happened? You get it figured out? He goes, yeah. And our engineer says you broke the system. I was like, so cool. I broke a facial find recognition apparently. So that was the ultimate such of like, this ain't gonna work, all right? This ain't gonna work. But then when we, honestly, we've seen it develop over the years, and the way this past graduation was, I was getting texts and messages on Facebook, text messages to my phone. Oh my God, we love this new system compared to last year. Like, can you put, we're actually in the process right now of putting last year's stuff on these new galleries to see what can happen. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah, so that's like the big thing is people are like, I had a lot of parents tell me, I just couldn't find the picture, so I quit. Not a problem. What if I try it again, put it up there, put a thing on Facebook, hey, if you guys had trouble before, try this thing you Face Find. You know what I'm saying? Like in reality, the photos are just sitting on my servers collecting dust, so we could try more info from that than previous jobs just from the Face Find feature. Because now people can easily find their pictures instead of having to search.
Yeah, I'm totally feeling that for last year's graduations. That's I don't know why I didn't think of it. That's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, well, if you would have saw it in our users group, Stella and I did a little video on, she used actually senior portraits from they were LifeTouch senior portrait files and data that they gave her permission to use to sort the grad gallery into private galleries, and it used their senior portraits, imported the data, used that as their reference photo, and then she just dumped all the grad images, and each person was in their own gallery, and it sorted all but like one guy, and the whole family had sunglasses on. She just had to manually move him over, but oh my gosh, that was really cool to do.
Stella, hey Stella, I know you're watching. Kind of clap for you, bro. Not LifeTouch, you beat.
Yeah, she really put me on the spot. She's like, we're gonna do this live and I want to record it, and I'm like, oh, I really hope it works. You just never know. So but it worked. Like it worked almost every time, and every time I'm like, I can't believe that actually worked. So it's this really neat technology. What about you, Justin? What's your feedback from parents with the Face Find feature?
Like I said, it was last year, late last year, and people were still a little bit hesitant sometimes until they, what I used. I told them, basically store 90738 in your phone like it's my phone number, and just put Justin Grafton Studios on it, and then whenever you need something, just text that, and that changed a lot of people's mindsets on it when they felt more comfortable. When you take ownership of what you're doing and you portray that to them, because really it is. It's your stuff. It's your business. It helps, it helps everything about it. So once you got that across to the clients and that they were comfortable that it was you, it really kind of took off from there. I mean, that's when it really started taking off. So I'm so upset about this pandemic. I want it to be over so that we can use it for what it's for. Because it's like I'm like a Corvette or a race car. I'm a muscle car sitting in a garage, just revved up, waiting to go with nowhere to go. Just spinning the wheels in the garage. It's a big smoke show. It sucks.
Yeah. So. What about you, Rashad? Have you challenged the Face Find feature at all? Did some tests on it?
Oh yeah. So I remember when I got the call for those graduations, I immediately wrote Lisa a message. I'm like, what if they have a mask on? I was real nervous. What if they have their graduation cap? What am I going to do? I was nervous. I never used PhotoDay. It's my first time even shooting graduations, and she assured me that it should work, and it did. They found every face, and I've gotten zero calls about it, so it must be doing well. So that's all I asked for, yeah.
Your bank account says they're finding pictures just fine.
Yeah.
That's always awesome. No news is always good news, right?
Yes, exactly.
True.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Hope? What about your grad?
So overall, really good. We did have a handful of kids because all of our events were outdoors, and they picked the worst time possible. There was like noon graduations and 4 p.m. graduations, and so of course the kids are in masks and sunglasses, and that was a little bit of a challenge. And we had about, I think, 3 phone calls from parents that they're like, "Where's our kid?" And I'm like, "Well, were they wearing a mask?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, were they wearing sunglasses?" They're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "That's why." So I ended up just finding the kid because it happened to be kids that I know. I mean, we've been photographing these high schools for so many years now that I kind of know everybody by the time they get to seniors. And so we literally just went in and tagged them with the kids' names. And so we told the parents, just search for their tag of their name, found it, placed the order. It was good to go. And, to touch on, Rashad, I know that you said that you could only do 1 snapshot for your graduations. Out of our 3, we had 1 school that did that. All that I did was took that shot and gave it to them as shot and with the border on it with like Elko High School in the year. And you would not believe how many parents bought both of the same image. And I'm just like, hey, you take them. You can have them. So, but yeah, Face Find works great overall. It's just the mask and the sunglasses, little bit of a problem, but that's the world we live in right now. So
yeah, for sure. So and that's I think one of the other cool things that when you're doing something like that and they're all covered up, you can always kind of try to narrow that data set in a public or group gallery just by like times or whatever you have. Like you could just throw everyone that has a mask and sunglasses on and tag it mask and sunglasses. And if you wore that, you're only going to look in that data set. So it kind of narrows it down a little bit for them too. We've had people do that with jersey colors, just kind of sorting it into something easier to find if for some reason the parents didn't want to use Face Find, or maybe their kid wasn't around and they have no pictures of their kids on their phones for whatever reason, but just to help search for photos. But it's pretty versatile and it helps you guys figure out like there's different ways you can use it to get creative and figure that out. But for sure. Brian said he's getting ready to do a test shoot of a baseball team with the Capture app. That's pretty cool, Brian. That's what, I think Tim did that too the other day, and we have a couple people doing that. They're using the data and the image match from the exports from the private galleries to build their teams. and, to virtually build their teams and to do the composites, which is pretty cool. And I know we've had a demand for a additional export feature to make that a little bit easier. And that might be on its way here soon. So always getting that feedback. So Chris, I'm going to go back to you. I'm going to ask you a pretty tough question here. So, because I think we're all like, we want that community sense. And I think that's, one of the big assets of PhotoDay is like, we're all kind of going through this together. We're all transitioning online together. We're listening to you guys as users to figure out the features that you guys want and that you guys are going to use and what you need. And we're putting those into PhotoDay, but more importantly with the community and everything we have going on right now with COVID and the shutdown and return to school and stuff like that. I think it's more important than ever that we just come together. We just talk about how it's affecting you and your studio. We're not alone, and some people have things coming up. Some people have found other ways to generate income. So Chris, what have you been doing, and how has COVID impacted your studio?
So we're kind of one of those going to be interesting stories. So obviously March happened, eliminated my entire spring season. As we get ready to go into the fall, we actually I probably signed so originally I had about 12 schools we did. I'm probably up to about 28 schools now that I signed over the break. Now the issue is so granted I signed a lot more schools, and with those schools we also signed yearbooks. So yearbooks is becoming, not only do we do the schools, but yearbooks is becoming another big portion of it. Only because that's income. Granted, in addition to graduations, which is huge for summer, the yearbooks was also another big one coming in. So we signed a lot of yearbooks. The problem is like the worst year to sign yearbooks because now with California, LA County, San Diego Unified, and LA Unified, I'm sorry, already canceled in-seat sessions for the fall. So with the bigger districts already canceling that, and the rest of the state of California, it's leading us up to say the rest of the districts can fall into place and say, well, we can't, if LA can't do it, we're smaller than LA, we're not gonna be able to do it, so we're not going to school. So now it honestly puts a little bit of fear in my heart because I probably have invested about 20 grand so far in new equipment just to handle all these new contracts. And I still got to order more printers for IDs, and not only that, but the supplies. So my big fear right now is, will I spend 30 grand and not be able to pay a dime back of it if I lose all my elementaries and my high schools here in the next few weeks? So, I've been blessed. I had that opportunity for a PPP, and I just actually got an SBA. Shout out to Mike Norkin for that one as well. So those granted, they gave me a cushion, but obviously we can't ride in the red forever. And this year obviously is not as good of a year as years past. So, granted we're doing that. I'm never going to say volume will not be my bread and butter, right? I study this. This is why I'm part of PhotoDay. This is what I do. Now, do we do other things? Yes, we do. We do have income that comes in from a lot of commercial work. Like I said, the military stuff. We're very blessed with a huge military base here. But they're not I'm not going to go out and make $5 grand and doing a military base compared to doing elementary school in a day. So that's, so there is the fear in that sense of that for me right now. And I think it's just everybody else in the country, whether you're big or you're small, you still got rent, you still got overhead. And going into fall season, I think even the fears with a lot of the labs, guys, if there's no fall season, what do we do, but what do the labs do? So I think everyone right now is just keeping their eyes open and, granted, you might not believe in it, guys, but wear a mask if you're out in public. It can't actually shut all this down sooner. We can't go back to normal. We just do our part.
Yep. Thanks for sharing that, Chris. What about you, Justin? How's COVID impacted your business? What are different things you're doing to generate revenue now with everything going on?
Well, volume's most of my business. And so, like I said in the beginning, not all my eggs are in that basket, thank goodness. One thing that's been really wild to witness, I shoot a lot of real estate. So I've always done that on the back burner, but that's kind of turned into what's been paying my bills lately is real estate shoots. Real estate has not slowed down. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it's a seller's market here in Florida right now. So.
Yeah. I think what's happening, honestly, is people are realizing that they can work from home. You know, it's actually possible, and I think people have noticed how much money they've saved. I know a friend that works for a company, and they've saved over $500 million just in travel since COVID started. Let that sink in. That's a lot of money just in travel expense for employees. So
Wow.
people are they can move to these rural areas where I live, and so houses go on sale and they're gone instantly. So it's pretty wild to watch. I don't want to do that very much longer. I'm itching to shoot sports. Jay's been doing some cool stuff where he's doing those open calls, and I'm gonna start doing that, I think, here real soon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the open studio, use your contacts. And that's a cool thing for you to remember too, is when you go into your PhotoDay reports, Justin, you can now export all those email addresses out from everyone who's placed an order with you in the past, and go ahead and market to them for an open studio.
See, there's some new things I still don't really know about because I haven't been super involved because there hasn't been anything to upload, so I haven't been checking it. So I need to get back in there and see what's new for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So what about you, Rashad? What do you got going on? How's COVID really impacted your studio, and are you finding any other creative ways to use your skill to generate income?
Well, usually for my line, most of my work is high school sports, so my summers usually are slow. So I use this time to kind of improve the business, look back on the previous year, see what I can improve. So in that sense, everything is kind of normal for me to be slow right now. But I guess it's an extended break, so I've kind of been trying to brush up on other skills, portrait shoots, a lot of senior portraits. I actually bought a lot of video equipment. I want to give that a try. But like
Careful.
Chris, no, trust me. Yeah, it's more so for myself, personal projects. But like Chris said, volume is my thing, so I don't ever plan on specializing in anything else. But I guess it is time to kind of look at other avenues temporarily to try to make some money. And like Justin said, I've seen Jay's webinar about the open studio, so I'm planning on doing one of those in about a month or so. Hopefully it does well until schools can open back up. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really hoping schools, this goes away and schools open up. I got a 9 and 11-year-old fourth grader and sixth grader, and I don't know what I'm going to do with virtual school. So, oh man, it's been a little crazy. So what about you, Hope? How's COVID impacted you? You doing anything creative with your skills in the studio to generate some income? Oh, we can't hear you.
We do about 60. Oh. Can you hear me now?
You're good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So we do about 60% or so in volume work. And so I do spend some time in my studio. But what I've noticed is that I've been doing a whole bunch more newborns and toddlers than I have before. And so, I've really been kind of focusing on that and getting my name out there a little bit more in that. Newborns and toddlers is what I love for portrait work. And so I've been allowed to focus on that a little bit more than I previously would have this time of year. Because normally I don't take on any newborns in the spring because I'm just so inundated with volume and exhausted. So that's been a nice change of pace. And then I've just been really kind of seeing how I'm going to change this fall with COVID and kind of the things that I'm forced into, and just kind of watching my market and see what's happening really. And I'm honestly I'm ready to get back into volume. I love my newborns and my toddlers, but there's only so much of that I can handle before I'm ready for the chaos of 800 kids in a day plus. So
yeah. For some reason, I'm getting the feeling that you are a thrill seeker, Hope.
Me? No. Side story on that. There's a lake about an hour away from us. It's called Angel Lake, and it's a glacier formed lake, and it's a tarn. So a tarn is like when the glacier melts, and it has like a basin, and it's 29 feet deep. And it's my favorite place to paddleboard. I paddleboard like through the week if I can in the summertime. And there's a cliff that you can jump off of, and I'm pretty sure it's like 20 feet. I jumped, and the lake ate my Apple Watch on Sunday, so
Oh
I probably won't be
no.
jumping with the watch again, but I'll probably be jumping for sure. It's a ton of fun. If y'all are ever in northeastern Nevada, come out and I'll take you up to Angel Lake and we'll jump off the cliff.
Woohoo! Let's jumping. I'm there. So I'm going to circle back over to you, Chris. This is kind of our last round of questions, and then we can freestyle if we want. But what positive things can you share with other studios who may be on the fence with, this whole transition to trying out an online or 100% online? I know it's scary for everyone. So, and oh my gosh, Justin, you're distracting everyone with your cute, adorable, with Phil Collins. His name is Phil Collins, right? I have that right. Yeah. So, he's awesome. But what can you share with any studios that might be on the fence about this transitioning and using PhotoDay and relying on that face find?
So I'll admit, like I said, growing up in the studio world, I was always raised with you don't put it online. If you put it online, you lose it all, and you're never going to sell it. But you know what? In reality, once I kind of faced that fear and looked at everything, I don't know how long, Lisa, talking to you guys and right there, learning the software and always being on the fence. But you know what? It is scary, just like with everything else in business. It's like Justin had said and Rashad had said, this is how I pay my bills. So any change in the software is something that can ruin it. Obviously, it can ruin your market and ruins everything for your business. And so the big thing is, though, with me is when I took that chance, obviously I'm still eating well. So, guys, it's one of those situations that you don't have to worry about the software. Like I said, not only that, but, as everyone said, Justin has said as well, it's traditional PhotoDay with the envelopes, guys. Yeah, your income is like this huge mountain of cash that first day, and then it drops down. You got nothing after that. Okay. With this, you're having waves coming in consistently. So it does, it does help when you log into the software, you look in your emails and, hey, there's another email, I made another sale, so there, it's really cool. I really do enjoy it, guys. And like I said, people being able to find the images faster and easier definitely works out. And, just one of the things that sold us, and Rashad as well, maybe an idea for you, like our grads, same thing for sports. We did the original photo. We also extracted everything and applied different backgrounds to every single image. So, again, it's just upselling the same image, 4 different backgrounds on there. Our averages jumped from, I think last year I know for a fact we were at 42.89 was the average. I had that number specified. This year we're at 55, so it's little things like that for businesses. Hey guys, a lot of times nothing different that you've already done. It's just the ways to do it that's improved.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So what do you got to add to that, Justin? Any advice for those that are on the fence that are tuning in, trying to figure out, hey, man, is this working for them? Is this going to work for me?
I think anything can work for anybody, to be honest with you. It's what you want to put your time and effort into, and tell people, trust the fact that this is legit and it really works. You have to be honest with yourself. How easy do you want to make it? This makes it super easy.
I think the one thing that all 4 of you, because I've seen all of your photography in your galleries, the one thing that all of you have in common is you take and capture and create amazing images and amazing expressions. And that is a big, big key to success with selling online, along with giving people the right access code, Chris.
But I will admit this. On the back end, though, you guys saved me that day. You guys were able to pull off all those numbers that opted in and chunk them into mine. So now, granted, I forgot two numbers. I forgot 2 numbers. I put 20 instead of 20. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I get for wrestling, So
that's a valid thing, though. PhotoDay has saved me a couple times when I'm the one that made the mistake, and then they jump in head first and save you. And you can go look through the users group on Facebook, and you can see where people panic, and then where people know about them saving them, just chime in, and we're like, no, you'll be fine. Just chill out.
I mean, the thing was too is literally as soon as I was still at the graduation, dressed up and everything. I'm staring at a grad, and I literally am on the phone. I'm like, Lisa, don't hate me, but I made a boo-boo, Okay. And literally for the next like hour, it literally actually was like, what did you just do? Like, but I mean, over the next hour, you guys did everything and saved me. So it was one of those situations, like, you know, it worked out real well. I loved it, you know, so thank you guys for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we are in this together. I mean, we don't make a dime until you guys make money. So of course we are directly tied to your success, and we have every single incentive to do so. And, you know, as a technology, as a software company, as a tech platform, that's one thing. You know, we only want to build things that our users care about. And in addition to that, like, we want to help you get better at what you're doing, like, and take away all those processes, all those pain points that technology can solve. Like, that is what we want to do. We want to look at what we can do, what technology can we use to make your lives easier so you can do what you do best and maintain those relationships and create those amazing images. And then it's a win-win for everyone, really. So, you know, if there's any hiccups along the way, we are more than willing to help out and try to solve problems for you and network and our community that's been created here. It's amazing. It's you guys created it. We didn't even create this. Like, it's like we made like this users group, and then it just grew and grew and grew. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. It just kind of took its own direction. And, you know, Jay came, I think Jay is the one that came up with this PD100 hashtag. And every time somebody gets like a big order, they post like, you know, the order totals. You're seeing these monster orders. I saw like a PD700 come in the other day, Justin. I think it almost beat your order.
Stop it.
I know you had a pretty big one like a few months ago or whatever, but this one might have beat you. So there's like this little competition going on.
Mine was a senior portrait. Well, I tried. Mine was a senior portrait session, so it doesn't really count, I think. But it, if there was ever a way to stop it for just a second to do touch-ups, or, well, I mean, you guys are coming out with that, or am I supposed to say that? I don't know.
Yeah, you've already spoiled it. Yeah, we're looking at retouching. We've told enough people, I think, by now, but retouching definitely is on the horizon.
You know, and then
and
you
we've
just
got
dump your senior portraits in after that. Don't worry about it.
We've got exciting plans for that. I think Chris was a little involved in that too, so he's seen the comparison results on that feature. So
yeah, I tested a few schools.
So what about you, Rashad? Like, do you have anything you want to share about people who may be on the fence with trying out PhotoDay?
Well, like Hope said earlier, I kind of been just watching from afar for a while before I was an actual user. And honestly, the first thing I noticed was the education you guys provide. I saw Lisa doing a webinar. I'm like, man, she's so helpful and friendly and nice. Like, it was just so inviting. I was like, I think I want to be a part of this, because I already heard about all the features, which they sound too good to be true. It's like I can take a photo and they can just scan their face. I'm like, that's crazy. It can't work, but it does. So I was just kind of watching you guys, and you gave me the confidence to jump in. Mainly just you, single-handedly, being so helpful. Yeah, well, you've done good. And
well, she held our hand through it too. Eventually, there's gonna be too many of us. She won't be as popular because she can't get around to everybody.
Take advantage while you can, guys. Get Lisa.
Yeah.
No, like, listen. Yeah. We have a great, like, Steph and Stevie back me up like no tomorrow. They have been single-handedly like the biggest help with everything. I mean, they're experts at PhotoDay, everything that goes on with PhotoDay, and they have helped a lot of studios. So those of you guys that don't talk to me, I know you talk to either Steph or Stevie, because I cannot possibly handle all of it myself. So.
Yeah, well, they're fun. If you ever want to chat with them, you just hit the blue bubble. Yeah, and they're there. It's good. It's all good.
Yeah. And they're there all the time, too. Sometimes I'll see Steph will be answering on a Sunday. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, helping people on a Sunday afternoon. She's like, well, you know, they're working on Sunday. I'm going to chime in. And I'm like, that's awesome. So the level of, you know, customer success, as we call it, make sure it's not just a big change to learn a new piece of technology, but how to sell it and market it successfully too is a big, you know, it's a big jump. So we try to put all the information out there that we can to make it easier. So thank you. What about you, Hope? Any positive things you can share about jumping into PhotoDay, transitioning? Oh, I can't hear. Oh, wait, she's delayed. No, can't hear. You must be muted. Are you muted? We lost sound. Everyone read Hope's lips. So, we can't hear anymore.
What can we create here with this game?
No, she said. I saw no. Don't hear it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't be suspicious. Don't.
No, we can't hear you. You might just have to refresh and reconnect.
Oh, maybe she's not plugged in.
Maybe that's it. She might have to refresh the screen and come in. She's buying us all cars. She's not wearing it. So, that's awesome.
Bye, she says. See ya.
Yeah. So I guess with that, guys, you've been hanging around for about an hour, and I want to personally thank you so much for taking your time today to jump on and share your experience and share with everyone and bring the community together. That's really important for all of us. I think for all users, anybody that has never been used, has not used PhotoDay yet, as well as like all of us together, like our whole team. We love hearing from you guys. It keeps us going, keeps us developing, and pushes us forward to hurry up and get those things in there for you guys. So thank you so much. So what happened to Phil Collins, Justin? What happened to him? Oh, that's not Phil. Who is that?
This is Homer.
Homer.
He's Homer. This is Pops, the perfect pit bull.
Oh, he's super cute. I love dogs. Mine would just bark at the screen the whole time. He's a TV junkie, and anything on TV that moves, he gets excited about. I don't know what happened to him. So
we got good dogs. The Mastiff, she won't let me pick her up. She's too big.
Too big. So thank you guys. Thanks for everyone joining today. Thank you so much for sharing. I look forward to our many chats. And I know, Rashad, you and I have to catch up after this call. So I'm just going to go grab some more water and I'll give you a ring. But thank you, everyone.
You guys are awesome. Hey, it was fun meeting everybody face to face like this. I mean, I guess as face to face as it could be, but yeah.
There we go. I'll definitely be visiting you, Justin.
Yeah, absolutely. We're close. And I have an RV. I'll come south. It's fine.
Come on south, buddy. I'll take you out to tacos. We got the good ones over here.
Oh,
I like tacos. I like tacos. Yeah, Lisa likes tacos. Everybody loves tacos. We're good. Yeah.
I'm making tacos for dinner tonight. So I think it might be fajitas, though. Still a taco, but it's a fajita.
There you go.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.
Awesome, guys. You're good.
Bye.